Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Wizard, and we're going to learn about the Report Wizard today, presented by our resident wizard, Matthew Olson. Now, before we get started, I need to tell you your normal hostess, Sharon Brookshire, who is out today, and I will tell you why she's out. Because she is taking care of a brand new grandbaby. Matthew, do I have that pics of grandma and the new little one up?
Yep.
I do. So anyway, wanted you to meet Elliot, and Sharon is taking good care of Elliot while his mom is recovering, and they're all doing fine. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, 20 inches. So that is why Sharon is not here, and we'll be... hope you are enjoying the last days of summer. Fall is upon us almost. And again, with fall, we're going to talk about the Report Wizard. So Matthew, I'm going to make you the presenter here, and I'll let you, without further ado, carry away here.
Okay. Think I'm
you got to
loading
show
my
your screen. Not yet.
Yep.
Not yet. Are you?
I hit the button.
Well, let's see. Go ahead. No, carry on. I need to go to my view. And again, guys, you got it. So carry on.
Okay. So a few things we got on the agenda for today. I'm going to share with you guys the benefits and probably some of the more better features. I don't know if that's a good way to talk about it. The bigger features, I guess, is the best way to talk about it. We'll go through some samples and talk about go through some of that, and so you can see the Report Wizard in action. Because licensing is a little different with the Report Wizard, we are going to spend a minute and talk about that as it relates to you guys hopefully purchasing it. And then finally end up talking about why you need and want the Report Wizard at your guys' shop. So for those of you that already have the Report Wizard, hopefully I'm going to show you a couple of tricks and neat things that are new, but for the vast majority of you guys don't have it yet, so you're going to want to see this thing in action. So we're going to talk about some stuff. With the Report Wizard, the main thing is it's a different approach to report writing. Its interface is set to walk you through building the report from scratch, really. It uses our non-scientific names, or I guess Chuckistic names for fields and names, or field names, so you can actually realize what we're actually talking about when you're picking a field. With this dashboards, you can do your own dashboard of what you're wanting to see. If you want a speedometer type gauge showing you how close you're getting to your registration goal for the year, you can build it, and that dashboard's going to update in almost real time. Its default is to refresh every 10 minutes, but you can set that lower or higher, or hit the refresh button in your dashboard to get it to update right then and there. If you are doing mailings, you guys don't do mailings, right? Never. There is a billion, okay, maybe not a billion, but there are a bunch of the ACEware labels, mailing labels, already built into the system. So you don't have to go with your ruler and measure how tall and wide the label is and how much to give a margin to start that first column. No, you don't need to do that. This already takes care of it, and I'm actually going to show one here in a little while, but we'll keep chugging along here. Groupings, you can group data. One of the reports I'm going to show groups courses by their subject code, so you can see that. This thing is automatic, and one of the things is column widths. It automatically adjusts column widths on the fly, so it fills up, or as it gets close to getting to that page width, if it needs to adjust some of the columns down so that it doesn't go over that page width, it can be done, or it does it for you. Output, there are dozens upon dozens. Actually, I think there's 26, 23 ways you can output data. So this is Excel, OpenOffice, if you're wanting images, PDFs, HTML documents. I mean, it's got all sorts of ways you can report out the data. Import and export. This is import and export within the report wizard. It can't take a student manager report and import it into here and vice versa. It's but sharing with your other colleagues that have the report wizard. We can import and export reports, or if you get stuck somewhere and you ask me or your technician for help, and we can ask you to export your report and load it into our systems here and play around with it and see the actual report here. So that comes in handy from time to time. One-click reports. It really is, well, it's a double click. Double click on it and it's running for you. And then of course if you're wanting to print it or whatever else, you can do that. Although the dashboard, really just open up the dashboard and you can print off the different reports that are showing in the dashboard. So those biggest features, scheduling reports. This it works with any of the 20-some report formats, so that it automatically, creates the PDF, and you can have it email to somebody, or you could have that report just, save the PDF to the same spot every day, or multiple times a day even. Save it out, and then you can grab it, like if it's in a shared location, be able to grab it and do whatever you need to do with it. Or if you're needing to do a data dump into Excel on a regular basis, it can do that for you. Drill down. Another way to think about this is linking reports. I'm going to show an example of charts, pie charts, being able to click in one report to drill down even more and get more detail below it. So we'll see that. Charts and graphs, I've kind of been talking about that a little bit, but I mean, this thing can do a lot with being able to chart and graph things, and especially with the new speedometer thing, that's going to be really cool in your dashboards. Calculations, when this thing is set up to automatically just do a lot of the calculations for you, whether it's counting registrations or summing some of the financial data and other type of data, enrollment numbers, being able to sum those, and it does those automatically for you in a lot of cases. So and then I've mentioned dashboards. Lots of stuff you can do with dashboards, and the dashboards really work with the charts and the graphs, and being able to show those, and so you can see multiple charts and graphs at once, and be able to keep real close tabs on your registration data and other things that you're you're needing to see quite often. All right, so let's dig in. Let's look at this thing. So when you open up the report wizard, one of the things it opens it up into showing you the list of reports, and then some of the stuff with it, being able to if you need to adjust the filter, you can do that in here. Change the sort order. Here's what the report's already set to. Then different options with it, and then outputting. This is where you would if you're sending it off to the printer. Well, that's my PDF writer. I could switch that over to my actual printer. Save it out to a file. When you're saving the file type, here's those 20-some different types that you can output to with it. And let's see, cancel, and then emailing. So the email pulls from your student manager settings, so that it's not anything additional you have to hook up. It is already pulls from your student manager settings. So this is out of the box. It's set up. It's ready to go. Assuming you have email set up in student manager. So let's look. Okay, so let's schedule a report. So I've got this enrollment and income summary report, and I can just go, easier. Right, there's so many different ways to get to things, kind of like student manager, there's more than one way to do things. And it should be schedule report. It has a filter. So if I remove the filter, okay, now I should be able to schedule it. If it actually better to do, let me add that filter back. So this is just pulling what course code, what table you want to set the filter up on, what field begins with is in here. You can do is between, greater than, less than, all that stuff. Value, if I say 19. What it was complaining about is I previously set it as ask at runtime. So I'm not going to ask it at runtime at this point. And now if I schedule, so I only see 19 courses. So this can be daily, weekly, monthly, whichever you're needing to do. So if I wanted to say at 6 a.m. every morning, every day, start date. Well, today it's already past 6 a.m. But if I want it to email to Chuck at ACEware.com, here's that course report that you wanted. So you put in your message on the fly, probably want a subject so he knows what the what it is from a glance. Probably your message would be a little bit better than that. If you want to put a password on the file, you can do that. What do I have this automatically is an image. That's probably not a good idea. Let's do a PDF. Am I missing it? There it is. Okay. So next. So this asks username and password information. in case you're logged out of the computer. This does mean that your computer needs to be running at 6 a.m. for this to actually send. I do leave my computer on overnight. That way I can check email if I need to, when I'm away. But if you're setting this up from a server, scheduled reports from a server, you might have a little bit of trouble getting those set up, and mainly it's Windows permissions. But your personal computer, whatever computer you're running the report wizard from, needs to have permissions needs to be on to be able to turn on, log in, run the report, and then log you back out. So that's why it's asking password information here, and I'll go ahead and finish that. And then I can see scheduled tasks. So it shows me my one scheduled task in here. If you've got multiple in here, you can do that, or you can see that listing. If your boss no longer wants to get this anymore, you can come in here and delete it. I don't think Chuck wants to see this demo report from my dummy system every single morning, so I'm going to delete it. So main point there was to show that we can schedule. All right, so mailing list. I've got an Avery 560, and I'm just going to edit this one so we can see what's going on. Some of the things with this is
Matthew, I'm going to jump.
Yeah.
Let me jump in. You said mailing labels. This would also apply to name tags, and I know most everybody would be probably doing name tags, and the same thing applies. That you can pick you'll be able to pick a Avery name tag stock without having to do the measuring and cushing and smushing the side. So but same rules apply.
Yeah, and I can actually show. So here's the listing of the bajillion Averys in here. There's even some Dymos set up in here now. So yeah, there's the 3-inch, 5 wide. There's your name tag type stuff in here. 4-inch, 6 inches wide. That gets to be a pretty big name tag, but yeah, it's got that built in. But one thing I'm going to show here, so I've got this, because I want this to show on 3 separate lines, I set up formulas so I can have the full name. I'm going to edit this formula so we can see it. So I'm doing an all trim on the first name, and you're seeing the student manager listing behind. If I hit the ... I can actually pull, well, it's actually showing me up here, first name, trimming the first name, adding a space in between, and then the last name from the names. And it automatically converts. I'll put in some stuff, but no, I don't want it to test. It put in the table name automatically, but so it converts from the what the report wizard calls the field, or what we're used to seeing on the name screen. It converts it to the scientific notation or the Chuckism notation. So I've got the same thing set up for city, state, zip, city, comma, state, space, zip. And so now if I preview this, and it's going to warn me because I'm doing my entire database. Well, if you are sending a mailing list to your entire database, that's what you want to set up. But you can set up, it calls a query in this system a filter, but you can set up, like I did that other report real quick with the course code, it can set up a filter. So it shows me my Avery labels, 3 across, gives me room in between, presumably for the rest of the label, and gives me my pages of students. Probably in this case, I'm going to want to set up a filter to exclude people that don't have an address. That way this Ronaldo Davis doesn't show up. But there's other things we can do with that And let me get out of here. So anyway, that's Avery's at a glance. Course listing.
Question. While this isn't from the users, but for me, two things. Number one, if you wanted to make sure those were uppercase, could you add an uppercase command to the display? That's something also available kind of within the data element?
Yeah, so it'd be with the filter, or actually, hold on. I think that might be an option.
Style?
No, nope. Okay. It must be with the filter. Custom format, right here. With the formula, you can hit custom format, and I think that's the what is it? All exclamation points. I think preview. See what happens. Maybe I broke it. Yep, that did it.
That did. Yep. All right, very good. And the second question: this does not recognize custom student manager functions like namer or scissor in here, does it? Can you use?
Actually, it does.
Really? So you could have used namer in this.
Yeah.
Really?
And yeah, I was.
So, folks, you can tell I haven't played with this much, so I'm learning things here. Let's
try this. And I'm going to say 3/4, maybe 90% of student manager functions do work in this. So namer, NMID is what you pass. No. Okay.
You're a brave man. You're going to just roll it. You're going to roll it.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to? Yes. Except I broke something. Okay.
Cursor. All right. We'll work on that.
It used to work. I don't know why it's not working at the moment, but I'm going to cancel that so it doesn't save that. But yeah,
normally you're able to do some functions with it then. So.
Right. Yeah. So I'll need to do some checking as to why what happened to break that one. But yeah. Okay. So next thing, course listing. I've got one. I've got several set up, but this one, let's just look at editing. So just kind of subject code, course code, title, and so when you're building a report, you're picking which table do you want the fields from, and then you're picking the fields from this. This is all course information, but you can have like course UDFs or some other things that automatically would get tied into with a course. But the main thing, see enrollment count and wait list. So if I preview this and say okay. So it shows me subject code. So these are the courses missing a subject code here in this first category. There's 10 courses without a subject code. And so it shows me the courses, enrollment count, min, max, wait list. Kind of cool. I have a ton of courses that are in the ACEware subject code. So it's listing part of them here. And then on the second page, it does a continued on the subject code and then gives a total. Well, it'd be nice to show some enrollment and waitlisted counts totals for these subjects. So I'm going to show that real quick. And this is with, I just double clicked, but you can also go to properties. And this is format. So if I want to sum, I don't know. I don't want to show percentage. Summit, properties, and format, sum, the wait list. So preview that. Now this this template is set to show the counts or the totals up at the top of the subject code. So showing me this subject code, well, the empty subject code has 4 total enrollments and 0 wait list. ACEware subject code has 74 enrolled, 2 waitlisted. So yeah, different templates would show different ways. When I say template, I'm going to go here to the last page. The template, you can set different templates, and actually one of these other reports, I've got a fancy template showing on it. So I'm not going to mess too much with that right here, but yeah, there's a ton of templates already built into this system. So I'm going to finish that because I kind of like that. I'm going to keep that, change it to adding it. Crosstab. So I don't know if you guys work with pivot tables in Excel. Actually, if you export or output a crosstab report from here, it becomes a pivot table in Excel. So I'm going to do enrollments by subject, and well, let's edit it first. Show a little bit here. Go next. So I'm bringing in course code. I need a date, so I'm bringing in begin date. In order to do a year, come on. Oh, that's on the next screen. Forget, properties are on step 3 in crosstabs, whereas properties is in step 2 on most all other areas. But if I double click begin date here, you can show year. If you're wanting to see month, year, or month, you can do different things with a date. Data, actually just automatically dropping enrollment count on here, it knows to sum it. You can do different things with average and count of the items, but sum is probably the best. You can also do different things. I have it set to show the difference from the previous year. Kind of like, what is it, learn? Ask for that, learn life history or something. You can also show percentage change or show percentage of total, or you can show all 3 on this pivot table, but that kind of clutters things up. So I'm just going to leave it with the change and preview. A lot of data, yeah, that's fine. Grab it all. So it shows me the different subject codes that I've got in my demo. Year 0, that's the courses without a begin date. So that's your online courses. I probably would want to set up a filter to exclude online or exclude courses without a begin date. But then 2018 and enrollment numbers, 2019 enrollment numbers, and the number changed from the previous year. So we lost 1 in the business area, and but all the other areas were gaining. 2021, I apparently have a course or 2 of 2021 courses for some reason without having 2020. I don't know why, but hey, this is my demo, so who knows what strange things are in there. But looks like nobody's enrolled yet for those courses, so something neat. All right, so that's crosstab. Roster. If I go down here to roster, and I'm just going to straight up preview it. This is so you put in a course number. This is one of the courses I have more registrants in than others. So I can show. See, this is a fancier report where I've got a nice blue background on the headings, and then first row's gray, second row's white. You know, goes back and forth, so you can see that data out. And apparently, I don't have a registration status set on any of these people, but I'm showing some information from both the name table and the registration table in order to see that. So a little something to see there. Oh, charts. So let's look at a pie chart. I've got enrollments by subject. This is kind of like a pivot or the crosstab report. I'm going to edit it to where so I just have SSN ID from the reg table and a subject code. Y-axis, x-axis. Well, in a pie chart, it's kind of weird, but so the y-axis is the data. This is a character field, so it's automatically, the report wizard is automatically saying, oh, you want to count that field. You don't want to like add it or anything strange like that, because hey, it's a character field. So yeah, it sets it up, and there is, I mean, you can do area charts, bar charts, column, donut, line, point, whatever you're wanting to see. I set this up as a subject or a pie chart because I like pie charts. So let's preview it. So here's my subjects. It's giving the enrollment count next to each subject, but mainly with the pie chart, you're seeing just how big those wedges are. So the ACEware subject code is very popular. Art is second, and computer looks to be about third. So now I set this pie chart up. I set it up to link to another chart. So I can drill down just by clicking on the subject, drill down and go into and see a different subject, or see that one subject each and every course. It looks like I've got this set up for 18 courses, or year 18 courses. So it's showing me those courses and how many enrollments from each come in to make up that total. And I can actually come back here to the main chart. I want to see the art as well, and it shows me the art courses. So, and it keeps that other chart that I created along the way, keeps them up. I can print them, email them, all that stuff right from here. Save it out as an image. Hey, these are images. Nice thing to do with images is save them as an image. And I can do that with computer as well, but computer's not as interesting as some of these others. But anyway, to do the linking, that's kind of cool.
Matthew, let me just one of the things again, guys. I'm a new host here. I forgot to remind you, if you have a question, and Matthew, you've gotten spellbound. Everybody's paying attention. No questions yet. But guys and gals, if you have a question, type it in the chat box, and we'll get it to Matthew. If you see something along here that you have a question about, or you'd want him to go into a bit more detail on. So, alrighty, Matthew, keep on it going. Keep on it going.
All right. So, how I accomplished the linking is with the subject code. If I go into the properties of it, there's a link tab, and I specify what report I want to run when somebody clicks on that area, and what we're passing from the main report to that other report. So this report has set up a filter for just the subject code, so it passes the subject code being clicked to that other report. And I can show you that other report. So this is, here's that filter coming up, computer, and there's that report that I clicked on, from here, is ran from that other one. So when you're linking two reports, it's almost better to have the underlying, that detail chart or report already created, and then create the overarching one. So anyway, more details about that. I did a newsletter article on it, and other things. So we can get you more details on that if you do want to see it in action in your own systems.
A question on that. Is there a limit to how many layers you can build the sub-reports on a report? Have you experimented with that?
That's a good question. No, when I saw this in action, I think the guy went down like 4 or 5. So I definitely know you can do 4 or 5 layers. I almost think you can go ad nauseum, however deep into the inception you want to go. You can you can do it, I think. But I'm not sure. I haven't played with it that much. So
okay.
But if any of you guys create something like that, I don't want to see it. I want to see the inception. Okay. Let's return to the show. Okay, what the report wizard is not. The student manager report writer is still the reports you have created in there are still there. You don't have to, well, unless you want to, recreate them over here in the report wizard. Maybe you want it prettier for some reason, and the report wizard is definitely a place to get it prettier. So you'd have to recreate it in the report wizard. But, there's some things that the report wizard can't do that the student manager report writer can. I mentioned there's some functions that won't work in the report wizard at all. And I'm not talking about Namer, where I've just got a bug in there that I can fix. That one I can fix. But there are definitely some functions that won't work. Also, the student manager. There's you've got the mass email and mapping. Some of those other cool tools out of the student manager report writer. That in the report wizard you can't do with. And plus there are occasionally I find things where it's like, people ask me, I'm creating this report, should I do it in the report wizard or should I do it in the student manager? I'm like, I think that's going to be easier to do in student manager. And that's, various reasons why. But yeah, there are some things the report writer, it was built to do some robust things. So still use it, especially if you guys are comfortable with using it. The next item here, I think that should be a fairly obvious one. We can only report what's in your database, and also with that, if you ever heard garbage in, garbage out, if you've got garbage in your database, the report wizard is going to report garbage. So, but I think that's both student manager, report writer, and the report wizard. That's downfall of them both. I guess that's a downfall. It can't read minds. Also, the last item, you still need to be able to realize we're working with a rational database here, and no matter what with reporting, you got to kind of know the basics of what the database is doing. I think the report wizard does a better job of being able to show you that where those pieces are. It automatically does a lot of the linkings between tables for you. So as you're building a report, I had that one report that had registration status and name information. So it fills in the gaps, it fills in the blanks, and be able to show things between fields or between tables. Licensing. When you buy the report wizard, you've got one license that is the report creator, and that one allows you to do the building of the reports, editing of reports, creating other accounts, you know, well, what will be your report viewers, assigning different rights. So if you've got a bunch of financial reports and you want user X to not be able to see those, you can set up permissions for user X to not be able to get into that area. So that can all be done with the one license. You do get an unlimited report viewer licenses. So as many people as you want getting in and just being able to run reports, export data, email reports, as many people as you want can get in and do those. Also with scheduled reports, I think only the one creator can do the scheduled reports. I think that's one of those elevated permission type things that you have to do. But the report viewer, I showed you a little bit with the editing queries, change the sort order, and then of course be able to run all those reports. You can move the report creator to a different person. So you've got, user Z is the initial account. User Z is the main creator. Well, user X wants to create a report one day. User Z can go in and say, okay, I'm no longer a report writer. I'm going to make person X the report writer for the day, and then user X can log in and create whatever report they need to do, and then they can rotate back the license back to Z. So yeah, it can be moved around to different people. We do have a few schools have bought extra licenses so that they can have 2, 3, 4 people at one time going in and creating reports all at the same time. And we do have the option for that, but again, that's a little bit extra money. Pros and cons. It's an expense, or cons. It's an expense. So you got a budget for that. Realize your support agreement's going to go up a little bit. It's a change. Simply, if you're afraid of change, you don't like change, then you might not want to go the report wizard route. But then again, if you've ever seen, if you've ever edited reports in Student Manager, you realize that it's kind of a beast. It is the report wizard, not as much of a beast. So that one kind of is a con, but at the same time, it's not as big of a con as I think trying to learn the report writer in Student Manager is. So pros, and Sharon just listed a few of them: charts and graphs and dashboards, scheduling reports, that shorter learning curve I've been talking about a little bit with the change. But there's just so many others.
Dashboard, the idea of dashboards for the boss, and you really didn't get into that. You've got about 15 minutes. Would you have time to go back and show us dashboards when you're kind of wrapped up with this? Or
sure.
an example of a dashboard and how you can get to it, because I think that's kind of cool. So
yeah, dashboard.
Gender dashboard there.
I think this one's better, maybe. Nope. Okay, yeah, so this, I've got something wrong with one of my reports that I have set up in here. But, so the dashboard would be showing you the different charts, in this case, different charts, and being able to see them. Like I said before, it's a 10-minute default is 10 minutes on refreshing. Or you can hit the refresh button. And this you don't need a full-blown executable for the boss, so they don't need a full-blown report wizard. You can create desktop shortcut. You create this desktop shortcut, and as long as they're mapped to where the report wizard is, you can give that shortcut to the boss, and they run that, and they don't even have to log in. Actually, I can do that real quick. See if I can show my.
There you
go. Maybe. Nope. No, I can't get to my desktop with the slideshow showing without losing it. So,
okay, well, may I jump in here? The point of that dashboard, for those of you that if you've got a boss who is really anal about wanting to check daily enrollment, and you said, well, I could send them an email report in the morning of daily report of the income, you could build a dashboard that shows enrollments this week or enrollments today, kind of like the F9 report in Manager, which of course you have to log into Student Manager and press F9. You could give your boss a shortcut to put on their desktop. Whenever they wanted to check the enrollment, they double click on that shortcut, pops up that little pie chart or whatever you've got for a chart, and they'd be able to get the numbers they want, and again, never have to bother you again on that particular report. And you wouldn't have to have them go in to log into Student Manager and then forget to log out, and you yell at them when you do backups and reindexing and all that good stuff. So, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so this is the speedometer gauge type thing, and I couldn't put it in the dashboard, but because I've got a ask at runtime filter, but I can change that to filter, edit, and I'm going to make this 19 instead of 18. Don't ask at runtime. Okay, now if I edit my dashboard, so this is just picking which reports do I want to run in my dashboard. So favorites, and it loads a little slow. Okay. It still won't go. What did I do? Oh, I need to actually change it in the report, not out in here. So changing it out here is just for the session. Changing it in the report itself changes it for good. But anyway, there's that. Any other questions right now?
Actually, no. Again, you've been doing an excellent job on that. I think go ahead and finish off the note. I appreciate the segue on dashboards. So,
sure. Why you need it? Why you want it? Colorful charts and graphs, and I showed you that colorful roster as well. I mean, you've got different ways of organizing the data and prettying it up, and this system, yeah, it can do a lot. Running reports on a schedule, yeah, depending on what you're using, that could be worth it right in itself. You know, saving time in running reports on a daily basis. Instead, it's already in your inbox, ready for you to digest whatever it is you're needing to digest first thing in the morning. So, or your boss or financial people or whoever. Good for those that don't want to learn the student manager report writer, because yeah, that thing's a beast. So next steps: talk with your technician, me, Sharon, whoever you think will help you get more information on this stuff. We do have a full help for the report wizard. I didn't show that, so that it walks you through those steps of creating things. but then you know, again, your technician is available if you get stuck. I should be available. You know, you can get help with this system.